Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the thought provoking panel discussion on the topic of what is artificial intelligence and how it impacts our generations. We have gathered here today to dwell into the fascinating world of artificial intelligence and explore its profound influence on our lives, both present and future. In the era where technology rapidly evolves, artificial intelligence has emerged as a defining force, revolutionizing the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us. From intelligent virtual assistant to autonomous vehicles, from personalized recommendation to advanced medical diagnostics, artificial intelligence has affected every facet of our society, leaving an indelible mark on our generations. But what exactly is artificial intelligence? How does it work? And why does it hold such incredible potential? These questions lie at the heart of our discussion today as we embark on a journey to unfold the mysteries and the realities of the transformative technology. Throughout history, human progress has been shaped by innovations that have propelled our societies forward. Today, artificial intelligence stands as one of the most remarkable and influential innovation of our time. It possesses the ability to analyze vast amount of data, learn from patterns, and make intelligent decisions, surpassing human capabilities in many areas. However, with great power comes with a great responsibility. As we explore the promises and the possibility of AI, we must also confront the ethical dilemmas and the challenges that it presents. From concerns about job displacement to issue of privacy, bias and transparency, AI raises complex questions that demands our collective attention and careful consideration. During our panel discussion, we will have the privilege of hearing from the esteemed expert in the field who will shed light on the multifaceted dimensions of artificial intelligence. We will dwell into its impact on various sectors, including education, careers, and beyond. We will discuss the opportunities it presents for innovation, economic growth, and societal transformation, while also examining the potential risks and pitfalls that must have navigated. Our aim, our aim today is not only to gain deeper understanding of AI, but also to foster a dialogue that explores the implications of this technology for us, for our present and future generations. We encourage an open exchange of ideas, diverse perspectives, and critical thinking as we collectively strive to grasp true nature of AI and navigate its path responsibly. I invite your thought-provoking questions and challenge existing paradigm. Together, let us unravel the mysteries of AI, appreciate its transformative power, and strive to shape its trajectory in a way that empower and benefit students' community. So let me introduce and welcome today's subject matter experts, Mr. Siddhant Tole, a bachelor from Pune University and master's from IIT Chennai. Currently, he is associated with a leading investment organization from United States as an AI expert. His many articles have been published in the leading reputed magazines. So welcome Mr. Siddhant on today's panel discussion on artificial intelligence and how artificial intelligence as a technology will either influence or impact students, education, and their career. So So let me, first of all, let me understand um, what is the basic concept of artificial intelligence and how it works.
Yep. First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk in the show, which will eventually go to the public and make their understanding better. I hope so. Um, so, talking about the question, what is artificial intelligence? We can guess from the name itself, like it's a artificial form of intelligence which human has. The subject talks about everything which human can do and how can we mimic using computer programs or not even a computer programs. So earlier paradigms were related to software engineering and computer coding and all those things, wherein you used to code what you want to do with a certain language, Python or let's say C language or whatever language you use, right? You used to give set of instructions to the computer that you have to do these things in a sequence and that this is the final task you have to do. But that's not exactly human mind works. We take a task and we analyze the situation and then understand how we can uh, try to solve those. Um, beyond if and else loops, right? Uh, so you can understand AI is kind of a technology or a mathematical model wherein you take in a data, process it like a human, and give it an output, right? Now that processing can have mimicking capacities like vision, like textual understanding or audio understanding. So these are all the paradigms. If you see, the AI community is now trying to mimic one aspect by another. So human can see by eyes. So there has been technologies which can mimic that aspect of a human, right? Like a computer vision, which wholly solely devotes the science of understanding things by images and videos and using AI models. Then there is something called NLP, which is natural language processing, which is more of a text related thing, wherein you take the data in the form of text, understand the uh, semantics and syntax of it, and get various tasks done, such as sentiment analysis or a classification, whether something is toxic or not toxic. These all the things. And then there are different algorithms which even kind of merge these two words. So, for an example, text to audio or audio to the text, right? And maybe a translation system which can translate the audio into a text, then translate it into another sentence, and then from that sentence again back to the audio. So it's like a human conversation. So it covers broad aspects of human intelligence, like vision, audio, text, and all, and it tries to mimic using certain mathematical models. So that's all AI is all about. There are different streams in AI. If I say broadly, there is something called supervised learning. There's something called unsupervised learning, and then there is a reinforcement learning. Supervised learning is more of like a baby understands things, right? Um, it's more of if you say to a small kid that this is a cat and this is a dog, right? And 100 times you show similar types of images or similar types of instances and say this is a cat and dog, it will understand somehow. So that kind of human mimicking it will come into the supervised learning aspect. Unsupervised is more of getting a sense of a data. You don't know anything about the data, but you just look at, let's say, your newspaper. You see a newspaper, you read all the things, and you guess that today's day is maybe kind of very optimistic or maybe more of a hate content is there. There is nothing given into that, but you more of reason out things on it, right from the data. The third aspect is like reinforcement learning, which is more of like you ride a bicycle, right? You start riding it and then you fall. Then you again start, and then you again fall, and then you understand what makes you fall, actually. And then you try to avoid those things and try to implement best possible strategy to even get to the final outcome, which is learning to ride a bicycle. That's kind of a reinforcement that, like the word suggests, reinforcing what is wrong and then uh, understanding how the things work. So that's overall paradigm of AI in a very broad sense. Yeah.
So, this actually prompts me another question, that is AI addressing the complexity of our businesses, you can say education, or I would say overall social paradigms, or it is actually creating the complex environment?
Yeah, I mean, see, the data which we, so AI is more of it's almost related to all the data which we are surrounded with. The data represent the complexity of the world. What I mean by that is certain aspect like bias. That's a nuance that human community has related to some gender. Let's say um, people are biased about certain genders, certain religions, certain areas. That will eventually come into the conversation which we eventually do on internet, right? And that data get feeds up into the models. So models do not get trained on the data sources which are very close source and all, right? Generally, the models like nowadays the buzz around the world, which is ChatGPT, are trained around the data sets which are very open, like Reddit data set, right? People do conversation on Reddit or Twitter or Facebook or to that matter, LinkedIn, and these conversations get tracked in the internet. And they kind of crawl through all these conversations and get that data into a data set and train the model. So eventually, what we talk, how we think, that gets embedded into our writing, and that gets eventually embedded into the complexities or nuances which on into the model itself. So it's kind of understanding from the unstructured data, like images, text, audio, like lots of text, terabytes of data we have. And if you sit down and try to, okay, you get a assignment that, okay, or a task, let's say some business comes and talks about, okay, I want to understand my customers. Now the customers are in, let's say, thousands, hundred thousands, and he wants to understand what product actually is going good with the customers using the reviews which he or she is reading. Now you can't go and read every sentence one by one, right? There has to be
Yeah.
some intelligence system which can understand the nuances or the complexity of a business and complexity of a language or anything for that matter, which human can eventually understand, like reading a text. So the text is, let's say, XYZ product is working great, but there is this aspect which is absolutely not pleasant for me. Now, this is a very nuanced text. It has a positive aspect as well, and it has a negative aspect as well. And the person needs to go and check whether this sentiment is related to that product and this aspect is negative. So that kind of understanding, extracting the information from the large amount of data, you can't do by like one human. You cannot do it. You have to automate all those things. Even computer
Yeah.
programs in the software engineering area can't do those things. So the era in which AI models take in these data, try to understand things, understand the complexities, get to the inferences. Those inferences then can derive insights. So it's more of complex world to understanding complex world using AI models rather than making it more complex. Yeah, there are aspects which can make things more complex, like people are using all sorts of things like models to create fake news, even fake voices, even fake speeches. Now it comes to again a human mind, how it uses. It's a tool which is very powerful. And if you give it to a monkey, he can use it in any sense.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a flip side of the technology.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
flip side of a technology. There are many aspects to it, which I think we will cover later in the part as well.
So when you are saying that this technology is actually understanding the complexity of the world in every walks of the human life. Okay, one of them most important is education and related careers. Okay, student related careers. Okay, so what do you think is the impact of this particular technology on education and students' career?
So AI has impact on every possible field which I am seeing right now because of the disruption it has been seen, right? And education is not the I mean remain like the field which has not touched by AI yet. It has been affected in many aspects. For an example, if you can see, um, AI is getting used for personalized recommendation, as you suggested in the earlier part itself. Recommendation in various aspects. Recommendation can be learning from the student's grades and understanding where it is failing or where the student lacks, and giving the recommendation accordingly from the set of, let's say, thousands of courses on the internet, and then understanding where he is failing and giving the recommendation or ranking according to it, right? That is one way people are using it, and it's more of, as I said, if you have a large amount of data and you want to extract information in whatever way, maybe recommendation of a course or understanding, summarizing a total topic which is very complex across 100 books, you want to do that, or you have a certain report you want to, let's say someone asks you to make a SOP for a reason, right? SOP for a college or something, right? And you don't know how to write it, or you don't have a companion who can guide you. Now that doesn't need to be there, right? You have an AI to accompany you and understand, which has seen large amount of SOPs because as I told, right? It has crawled through all of the internet and understood every aspect of more of everything. Because these generation, like the foundational models like ChatGPT or GPT-3 or 4, whatever coming into the market right now, they have trained on huge amount of data. So they understand many nuanced thing about many subjects. Like they can act as a subject matter expert in almost every area. Um, so you can even ask questions related to different your difficulties which you are facing in career, to the model, or try to maybe even not even students, teachers can use it to grade, even grade the assignments which the students have written by inputting the data, the assignments or text which they have given into the assignments, and then it can grade as well. That even that can be like people are automating it. If you think about accessibility for the people who are disabled, right? Who cannot see or who cannot listen, all those things, right? Now I was talking about the models um, which can take a text and convert it into the audio, right? These kind of multimodal dimensions, converting text into the audio, text into the video, or all these dimensions, connected dimensions, which we can use to help these disabled students to get more understanding about the subject. Not even disabled students, even the able students and the ones who are weak in subjects. For an example, there are many subjects which needs lot of understanding in the form of visualizations. Currently, there are models, AI models, which you can generate with the text. You can generate a 3D model, right? To explain, let's say someone wants to understand brain more, right? You can use AR, VR technologies to even enhance their learning experiences. Um,
Mm.
for now, one of the more like if you think about now, people are going towards MOOC, massive online courses. There also they are using recommendation. Leave that. I mean, even if you go to YouTube videos, now there has been AI tools which can take in a link of a video and it can summarize the whole video into five or four sentences. Even you can question that which part of this video actually answers my question. You don't have to go and scroll all the video. You just ask the question in a text format, like a natural language format, and then it understands that and crops that video and gives you the proper that para of a video or a part of the video. So that I mean, immense opportunities are there wherein you can student can even the all stakeholders in the education systems can use it to their benefit.
But Siddhant, the what after understanding you, I don't know whether I'm thinking in a right way or not, but somewhere I feel that this particular technology, rather than enabling students more into their education, don't you think that will impact their own intelligence in a negative way? Where probably they may misuse this technology.
Absolutely, actually, there are some of the cases which are coming towards like after disruption in this technology people are facing. Um, One of the issues are people copying assignments or taking their assignment to these models and models doing their assignments and coming back. Now this is like very tricky, right? I mean, if you go and use these models for every possible thing which it can do, and if it is at your fingertips, you cannot. I mean, people tend to use the shortest path to everything. And this is the shortest path. And then even earlier, we used to go into libraries and search everything for a
Yes,
question. You
yes.
go to books and then you will search through books and you'll gain in that process itself. You'll gain in
Read
that.
lot many books, lot many books,
Yeah,
not one book.
not even one book. Exactly. Now then Google came. Even Google search engine is itself a AI technology. What it does is it will take a query, it will try to get a mathematical form or a mathematical number for it, which is called as like vector. I won't go into the details, but and it finds the most similar document in the its all corpus, like large library. If you find similar, and then it will rank. It's a ranking system which is based on AI. Now when Google came, you just put a query and then the search results are there, right? Now one step ahead. AI has came and then now what AI does is it'll in a conversational format, you just put a sentence, you don't even have to go to 4 5 links. It will read it for you. It will summarize it for you and it'll answer the question you asked using all the summaries and everything in a one shortcut format. So now from one for a query to let's say you are a engineer and in a class you get an assignment. There used to be um, huge amount of efforts going into library, understanding everything, going through books and getting that answer to the point from Google's era to the point now it has been like very 5 minutes and there you have an answer. So that I mean the attention span has impacted a lot. I mean, even if you see the Instagram, if you see, you get a recommendation one after another, one after another. What is that? It's again a recommendation engine which is based on a AI, which is nothing but based on you what graphs you have with connections and their preferences, our preferences, and then it try to understand with the references of where you live, what you speak, what you see, and what you buy. All these aspects it will gather and give you recommendations. Every now and these recommendations are so apt that you scroll, keep on scrolling. You start for 5 minutes and it will go 30 minutes and you won't even understand what is happening. Attention span is like impacted is huge and that can have a great impact on one intelligence and second is like patience limit and we are seeing the effects
Mm.
of it. Uh,
Hmm.
it can be used as, I mean, it again depends. Like I said, if a monkey is given a gun, uh, it's a problem. Um, you have to deal with the
But
values and systems and to understand where you have to use eventually and where you don't have to use. There are examples which are very good as well. I mean, people are using AI to discover drugs for very rare diseases, and AI is helping it to reduce time to find drugs from like days to from years to some days. Those aspects are also there. I mean, these two aspects, if you compare and contrast, then it depends on again human intelligence and human value system, where to use, where to not. It's a very deliberate decision people have to take. Even governments have to decide where they have to eventually use this. Mm, few days back, I think Italy banned usage of one of the leading AI models, and then they asked few questions that why you are doing this, why, what are you doing with the bias this has been creating, or hallucinations or factual errors which has been creating, fake news and fake videos and fake audios. What are you doing with that? Once you deal with those, where then only will allow the usage of it. So it's continuously evolving and very nascent, I would say, stage right now. To we will have to see the effects and understand what is wrong, what is correct, and then get to these broader aspect of where to use, where not to use.
from here, there is a very obvious thing which is coming out from this discussion is, as an expert, what suggestions or advice would you like to give it to students to use AI technology to enable their learning or to empower themselves rather than it becomes a limiting factor for them, right?
Right. I mean, yeah. So it has to be seen as a tool rather than a complete solution. I would say,
Hmm.
I mean, if you have been doing some work and you're stuck at some point, use it to your help, and then just leave it and then go ahead, right? And more importantly, when a student chooses, or let's say someone is doing research and he wants to choose a subject wherein AI is also involved, he wants to understand what to choose, right? On an ethical aspect, I would suggest that choose a field or choose a AI research area wherein it will enable to solve bigger problems rather than
Hmm.
just a recommendation engine, another recommendation engine, right? Which is eventually not helping much to people. Um, and similar aspect, right? I mean, uh, it, students can use it to benefits. Let's say someone is writing an SOP, as I said, he can use it to write a perfect or a most impactful SOP for let's say university, or let's say if someone is applying for a job, then writing a resume. All these things aspect of AI, wherein it's more of a tool rather than completing our job using AI itself, right?
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
it's more of that, uh, I would say. Yeah.
So now, when it comes to education, we understood the flip side of AI as a technology also. But going forward, see, the students who are currently studying in a school or probably in the initial years of uh, college, when they will reach out to the corporate world, they will start their corporate life or a professional life. How this technology, artificial intelligence technology, will impact their either a working culture, working patterns, or you can say the job roles.
Very, very interesting question. Now that from some time back, people have started thinking about these aspects as well, like how will we change the job market eventually. Um, AI has taken over the things which are very, I would say, methodological method. There is a set method, and you have to do this, then this, and then this. We humans who are doing this kind of a job will surely get replaced, uh, or very little amount of them will be required just for validation. Why I mean by what I mean by that is like you do a let's say you do a job of, well, let's say verifying in a bank you are there and you are doing a job of verifying a customer's application for a loan, right? Whether so bank has a process of seeing his history and understanding what is happening with his history and whether to give it a loan or not, whether he'll default or not. That's how they do it. Now this has certain aspects, certain rules in a which person sees and then tick marks and takes a decision. Now this is completely taken over. Like major banks are replacing the system by AI, wherein it feeds a like tabular data, trains a model from past data, wherein you have a person's history and you know whether he defaulted or not. You have a complete and banks have used data. They are using these models and coming up with the models which can predict the probabilities, wherein um, this person will default or not. Now, this is one example wherein this was very rule-based thing, and AI model came and replaced a lot of workforce. There are nuances in this as well. Now, government is coming into the picture. Government is asking, okay, you have given this. What if there is a bias related to, let's say, some information is fed in with for a religion or for a gender, and your model based on the history it has been biased that females then generally default, for an example, default, right? And it is predicting based on only female, and it's predicting 0 or 1 or whether it'll default or not. Now, government is coming up with the rules that you have to place a person to validate these results, why the model is giving what is giving, right? To understand the model itself. So that kind of a job, from taking a rule-based model, like let's say 10 people were doing this job of default or not default, to coming to the one person who is seen only validating the results of AI model, whether it is taking a correct decision or not, or it is based on a correct circumstances or not. That's all like 10 to 1. Like 10%, 90% of the workers is not in these kind of scenarios, right? Now, where we have to think where AI models are going to be like not suitable, right? Like I would say AI models, we have to go back into our cultures. I generally see this pattern coming up again and again. You have to be very good at critical thinking, values, and emotional intelligence, where these models actually lack. They don't understand human emotions.
Obviously, obviously.
Yeah. So they won't be ever be like, I mean, I don't see in even near future they'll understand human values and all those things. So the job roles which are eventually in this area, like a strategic thinking, um, or even um, like you can say giving morals to students and values. So these kind of aspect wherein you can't rely on a model to or AI model to come in into the picture and replace you. And now then there are some jobs where like I would say one another thing which students will should focus on is like digital literacy or tech understanding. Not now, still now it was like if some people don't understand a certain aspect of technology, that's fine. People are there to take care of that. But now it has to be taken care, like it has got embedded into everyone's life, like anything. Like every second you are using some product, you have to understand how it is working. Even let's say you are a businessman, you want to increase your business. If you don't understand what AI can achieve for you, right? then you are at a loss there. In future, you have to understand how your business is going to get impacted by that, and then you have to get those learnings, and eventually you have to, I mean, this is going towards like lifelong learning. You have to learn everything every time, what new aspects are coming, what new technologies are coming, and with the help of AI and all other technologies, this is going to be exponential. Every day I see, as a personal experience I am telling you, every day I see, like, there used to be only in November, this ChatGPT and all other model came, which was like a company's like closed source model, which have been trained by companies, and they ask for money to run these models. Now people are coming up with their own open source model, like crowdsourcing. They are doing crowdsourcing, and then for the data, and then they are training the model. Every now and then there are new models which are coming. Now, even if you are in the AI field, like a data scientist, you have to be continuously learning what is going on, going in the field, because every now and then new model comes, new benchmarks has been set up, and every other model gets discarded. I'm not even kidding. Like every day, new model, like groundbreaking models are coming, hundreds of papers are coming. This is the speed of the speed with which the this community is booming, and this is going to be like changing everything. I recently read one paper wherein like people have trained the model, like foundational like language models on chat with a doctor. Like they had a chat with a doctor, and they have trained everything on that. Now it has the model is behaving like it is a doctor and it is chatting to the patient. Now, imagine if this gets better and better day by in a, let's say 2 years from now, it is perfectly fine, and you are seeing behavior which actual doctors shows. Imagine the effect of this, right? I mean, rural areas, remote areas, people can just WhatsApp and ask. I think some days back, Microsoft has one video wherein these agricultural farmers, right? Farmers are asking question in like Indian languages to a WhatsApp number, which is actually a bot, on different aspects like government policies and government related things, and weather and like farming things. And if they are able to get answers, even like, I mean, it has capacities to even explain the way your understanding is like a, they say it like explain like I'm five. Like I'm 5 year kid, and I am a layman. I don't understand anything about this. Explain me like that. If you try to give analogies related to different things, like a human does, right? So this will know that if you see that thing, farmers are getting on the tip. They are getting a knowledge source, even if they don't know how to Google, even if they don't know how to go to library and search. And it's at their tip of hands, like they're at their own timing. They can read about everything, like right from the astronomical things to the farmer related things. And this has opened a lot of opportunities for everyone. And you don't need code for this. It's like a natural
This
language interface.
this sounds too much interesting for me. So I'm sure it must be very interesting for even many people, including the students and all. So
Yeah.
here, in case, what kind of recommendations you would like to make to the students who are either interested to make their career, pursue their career in artificial intelligence, or they just want to adopt the learning of AI, which can become an enabler for them or empower them into their career. So, what kind of recommendation would you like to give them?
Yeah. First of all, like, be very good with um, curriculum which are related to mathematics, statistics, optimization. These kind of will help you to understand AI concepts. Be very good with coding. Um, may, if you think about languages, I would recommend Python, R, these kind of languages which are in which major of the technology or libraries have been built. And then try to get your own buddy, like a dummy free time project or hobby project, and start working on it. When you do that, you'll try to, and this should be end to end, right from the ideation to data collection to training to deployment and to even making maybe app which everyone can use. This will enable you to understand the process of making something. When you are in college, right? It is very constrained environment wherein you will get certain data set and then you'll train certain model which will never be fitted into real world. Real world is very nuanced. You will not understand the world scenarios unless and until you do it. So do a kind of a project, get an understanding of that thing, like every aspect of AI from model building, data collection, blah blah blah, and try to do this for every kind of data: text data, audio data, video data, images, um, these kind of all things, and maybe multimodal, wherein you connect all these things. This will enable you to understand various advanced technologies or advanced methodologies which are um, which are coming into the um, into this field every now and then subscribe to the newsletters and maybe a Twitter profiles or Reddit profiles which are very close to this subject, right? They eventually post whatever new comes, and you have to get updated every now and then and see what is coming up next, and then sometimes also help you to understand these things. Once you do this, I mean, there should not be any problem to get into this career. And then if you talk about people who just want to use these technologies to enable uh, things in their own careers, I would recommend it you can use it for like as a retrieval thing, wherein you want to find certain information using AI tools. A lot of AI tools are there you can use and get to those. For an example, as I think you want to find a college information related to your interest, you can just put a query and then research about and retrieve all the information from that. Maybe you can use it more like summarizing thing and all those things, right? I mean, uh, yeah, I mean that's all I can say about the things.
No, that's really important for students to understand the process of their education and how the technology is going to impact them today or will be impacting. I mean, is impacting today and will be impacting in the future. And
Yeah,
probably all these things can be learned, I believe, through uh, you know through various micro degrees or minor degrees,
yeah.
during their graduations, and that's how they become the more futuristic and the most employable in future. Okay, so
I mean, this as you suggested, proper like I forgot to mention this point, like MOOC, right? Massive online courses, open courses. You can use it to the benefits. Like Coursera offers many of these AI resources. Even YouTube, if you search, um, my own college produces a lot of videos, NPTEL videos, which are related to these technologies, and you can take those courses for free. Um, and the benefit here is you can learn at your own paces, right? I mean, if you don't understand, you can go back to that concept and understand that thing. So that's a benefit here, rather than going like I mean, of course, the actual class helps a lot, but then if you don't understand certain concepts, you can go back to these courses and understand. And then there are code repositories all the way, like GitHub. You can use GitHub for, let's say you are doing certain projects and you're stuck somewhere, you can use GitHub kind of a things to understand where people have done similar kind of things and what they have been doing, the methods they're using. Yeah.
That's really nice to know Siddhant, and it was really nice to understand this particular subject in a most simplified way. But there is one key takeaway. Uh, I think student will understand about this particular takeaway is technology is always playing a very pivotal role in terms of enabling your education and career if you wisely use them, that technology. If you start taking unnecessary advantage of any particular technology, be it earlier it was Google search, today probably it's artificial intelligence or chat gpt or whatsoever. Okay, if you are not I would say uh, conscious about using this technology, probably will start taking the shortcuts in your life, and rather than the technology, the artificial intelligence technology should become the influencing factor or influencing for factor for your own human intelligence. Probably your human intelligence will be quickly replaced by artificial intelligence. I think that's a big takeaway from today's session, which I could get it. So thank you very much, Siddhant, for sparing your very important time and covering the important aspects. So we are really thankful for you to bringing this wisdom uh, and sharing this wisdom with the students and all. Okay, I know
One,
this is like ocean. This is like a
yeah,
like an ocean. Okay, you cannot certainly uh, understand and brief everything about this particular subject in just 45 minutes of time, right?
one more
uh,
thing I would like to add here. I mean, that's little
yeah, sure, go
important,
ahead.
and I want to use this platform to, I mean, maybe um propagate that thing. Is we are lacking currently? We are lacking um, models which are in Indian context. For an example, models which are trained on um, images from Indian resources or text from Indian languages, everything on Indian context. We are just plugging around the models which have been developed in USA, right, or any other country for say. Few days back, Sam Altman, which is OpenAI CEO, came and someone from AI fraternity asked him that do you think that India will come up with certain model which is like foundational as theirs model? And to that he replied that it's we are way ahead of you guys and it's totally hopeless to even try. And I mean, you can try, but you'll fail eventually. That's what his reply was. I mean, that kind of maybe very aggressive statement from him, but there is some sense of um, I would say that that's not totally wrong as well. We don't have an ecosystem to develop language models which are eventually helpful for Indian context, right? I mean, farmer from Bhojpuri language, he won't ask something in English. He wants to talk in
Obviously,
Bhojpuri itself, right? So there are some of the things which are like even I mean, if you think about these technologies, this is one of the most important thing is compute intensive things. You need huge machine like GPU machines, which is like graphic process units, like a supercomputers of these to even train these kind of models. So I mean, one more thing is we need lots of tagged data. What I mean by tag data is like if I want to convert from Bhojpuri to let's say English, I need certain pairs of data which is like Bhojpuri and then English, Bhojpuri and then English, right? Now there are the government has started some of these things like there is something called Bhashini, which is a platform which collects these kind of data, wherein you can even validate people, let's say, come up and they tag this data, you can validate they are correctly tagged or not. Government has started taking all these resources, and I think we are going towards it, but maybe students who are interested in this kind of a uh, area, they can as well start on working on Indian context, right? I mean. that will be huge business area as well, and it is good for societal things as well. I mean, for India. So it's like from Indian context, get a Indian data, train Indian models, and it's more of that. Yeah,
That's absolutely right, Siddhant. All I can say to all my students and I can say parents only one thing, that human has been blessed with the intelligence along with morals and value systems, which artificial intelligence doesn't have. And I think that is the biggest differentiating factor. So use this technology wisely to enable your education and career. And please enable your morals, your value systems, and use this technology to get employable, not replaceable. So that's all
yeah,
from panel discussion. Thank you very much for us. Thank you very much, Siddhant, for joining with us on this panel discussion. We would like to reconnect with you in future once again with a different subject or probably extension to this particular subject once again from the different perspective and the paradigms. So thank you very
sure,
much.
sure.
God bless.
Thank you. Thank you.